Hi, I'm Judy Russell with SBR.TV. I'm here with Adam Burns, the sportsbook manager from Bodog.ca, to talk about this weekend's betting action. First off, we'll talk about the UFC, and in part two, we'll take a look at March Madness. So Adam, UFC 128 is almost here. Is the handle in these events growing for each one? Because they seem to be getting more and more popular.
Yes, for sure. Over the last few years, with the frequency that the UFC holds these events, there's more and more of these big events, and we have definitely seen an increase in wagering on mixed martial arts as a result of this. We try to offer every event from all different promotions. What really has taken off is parlaying these fights, whether it be during one event or from multiple events. So parlay bets on the MMA is really popular, and we're one of the only sites that offers parlay option on MMA.
But are you starting to see more and more people betting on the props because the value is so much better? Like, for example, Barbosa straight up is minus 325, but if you take Barbosa to win by round 3 decision, it's plus 200.
Yeah, we've been offering more and more props for these big events lately, even for smaller ones such as Strikeforce or Bellator events, and do not see why we would actually stop offering these, because it's getting more and more action every time we offer it. And it gives our bettors more options than just the regular money line. One of the reasons, like you said, is that you can get a heavy favorite at plus money if you can predict if they'll win by decision or KO. So it entices a lot more bets. It's a lot more fun when watching the fight if you have a bet on it, when you can actually cheer for a certain outcome, not just who's going to win.
What are your limits for the MMA fights?
Normally the day of the fights they'll be up to about $5,000.
Wow.
Before that, will probably open at 500 to 1,000, but on day of the fights, usually it's about $5,000.
That's funny, because I thought that MMA was one of those really low limit kind of betting things. I'm just after finding out this week how big it is and how big the handle is. Is there any particular fight that the public is on one side for? Yeah,
when we opened that John Jones Mauricio Rua fight, we took some early sharp money on Jones at minus 160 when we opened them, and at one point we were all the way up to minus 200 on Jones. But the public Rua money has been flowing in, and we currently sit at Jones minus 185 and Rua plus 155. Usually people tend to parlay a lot of the favorites during an event, but in this fight we've actually seen two-sided parlay money, meaning at the end of the day that the book will be cheering for Jones pretty heavily at the end of the day.
Yeah, and listen, you mentioned Strikeforce. How do you think Strikeforce being bought out by the UFC will affect the betting market?
Well, there's no question that with the power and the money that the UFC has, they will promote this Strikeforce much more, and it should in turn increase betting on these events. However, even though they will remain separate entities, I believe, they're owned by the same company, and UFC no longer has any real competition. So the downfall there is that sometimes when you have no competition, your product may get a bit stale and not as fresh and as exciting because you're not really competing anyone. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.